You know that feeling when you just can't put your Switch down because you're obsessed with exploring one more dungeon? Yeah, me too. I've been diving deep into some amazing RPGs lately, and I'm super excited to share my top 10 favorites with you. Let's check them out. Let me tell you about Operencia, The Stolen Sun. What makes this game special is how it mixes old-school dungeon crawling with these amazing European folktales you don't usually see in games. The dungeons are absolutely gorgeous, and the characters you meet along the way, they crack me up constantly. There was this one puzzle that had me stuck for hours. I even dreamed about it. But when I finally figured it out, I felt like I had just solved the mysteries of the universe. The game takes its time telling its story, but trust me, the journey is worth every minute spent exploring these incredibly detailed environments.
Has never seen.
Don't worry, human. There are many more to come.
They talk.
Not for long.
Dreamscaper completely flipped my expectations of what a dungeon crawler could be. Every time your character falls asleep, you dive into these surreal dream worlds where you literally fight your inner demons. The combat feels like you're orchestrating this beautiful dance through these otherworldly landscapes, with each weapon bringing its own unique rhythm to the fight. Sure, it kicked my butt more times than I can count at first, but something about the way it weaves its story of personal growth through these dream sequences just kept pulling me back in. The visuals are stunning, creating this perfect dreamlike atmosphere. Dungeon encounters might look super basic at first glance. I mean, we're basically looking at numbers on a grid. But don't let that fool you. This game is like chess mixed with a dungeon crawler, where every single move you make could be the difference between victory and total party wipe. The stripped-down presentation actually works in its favor, letting you focus entirely on the strategic decisions that really matter. It's definitely not for everyone, but if you're the type who loves pure strategy and tactical thinking, this game will absolutely consume your thoughts even when you're not playing. Torchlight II is my go-to game when I just want to shut my brain off and slay monsters for hours on end. You know those games where you keep finding better and better loot? And suddenly you realize it's 3 a.m. and you have work tomorrow? Yeah, that's exactly what we're dealing with here. The game runs surprisingly well on the Switch, with just occasional stutters when things get really chaotic on screen. But honestly, I barely notice because I'm too busy planning my next character build or hunting down that perfect piece of legendary equipment to complete my set. Let's talk about Hades, and I know what you're thinking. Here we go, another person gushing about Hades. But there's a good reason why everyone loves this game. Most roguelikes make you feel like a failure when you die, but Hades turns each death into another piece of the story. The characters actually remember your previous attempts, they react to what's happening, and somehow they manage to make dying feel like progress. The combat is so fluid that even failed runs feel satisfying, and there's always something new to discover, whether it's a new weapon aspect or a previously hidden character interaction. Hey, quick pause here. If you're enjoying this look at some of Switch's finest games, hit that subscribe button for more content like this. Let me know in the comments which of these games you've played or are excited to try. Now, let's continue with our lineup. Darkest Dungeon is not just a game, it's a stress management simulator disguised as a dungeon crawler. This game doesn't just want you to manage your hero's health, it wants you to manage their sanity too. Every expedition is a careful balance between pushing forward for better loot and knowing when to cut your losses and retreat. The gothic atmosphere is incredibly thick, and the narrator's voice will definitely haunt your dreams. It's brutal, it's unforgiving, and it's definitely not for everyone. But there's something oddly addicting about trying to overcome these impossible odds.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
The Etrian Odyssey Origins collection feels like coming home to a warm meal after a long day. Remember when games used to make you draw your own maps? This collection brings that back, but with all these modern conveniences that make it so much more enjoyable. I've spent countless hours planning the perfect party compositions, trying to figure out the optimal skill combinations. Each game in the collection adds its own unique twist to the formula, but they all share that same satisfying core gameplay that keeps you coming back for more. The quality of life improvements are fantastic. Labyrinth of Refrain, Coven of Dusk, might be the weirdest game on this list, and I mean that as a compliment. Instead of regular party members, you're controlling these magical puppets in formations called covens. The story goes to some surprisingly dark places, and the whole puppet system is complicated enough to make your head spin at first. But once everything clicks and you start understanding how all the systems work together, it's like unlocking a whole new level of strategic depth. The game does a great job of gradually introducing its complex mechanics. Children of Morta does something really special by making you care about an entire family of dungeon crawlers. Each family member plays completely differently, and watching them interact between runs just hits different emotionally. The pixel art is absolutely gorgeous, bringing this world to life in ways that still surprise me. Fair warning though, there are some difficulty spikes that'll make you want to throw your Switch across the room. But stick with it because the story of the Bergson family and their struggle against corruption is worth experiencing to the end. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX is like catching up with an old friend who's had a really nice makeover. If you played the original, you know exactly what you're getting into. Running around random dungeons as Pokemon, building rescue teams, and helping other Pokemon in need. The updated visuals give everything this lovely storybook quality that works perfectly with the game's wholesome vibe. Sure, the gameplay loop can get a bit repetitive, but there's something just so comforting about the whole experience that keeps drawing me back in time after time. Hey, let me know what you think about these games. Maybe you've played some and have a different take, or maybe something here caught your eye. Drop a comment, let's chat about it. See you in the next one.